So what's Metaverse all about? You put these glasses on and you're in another world. And then they're coming out with just regular glasses. So what would that be like? You're walking down the street and you have regular glasses on, but maybe people can look different to you through that just by latching onto a person's movements. I don't know. I put it on one time as far as I can remember recently, and it was interesting, but I don't know how the whole thing works. But when I looked up some of the information and the building platforms, from the research that I did, it's been difficult because of the amount of coding that's involved. And with the smart contracts, it's simply just to create a digital asset, is not to mention the bugs, because the bugs that come with that enter into the metaverse. The latest decentralized platform, it identifies anyone that can create a digital asset on the metaverse, also known as the Metaverse, the smart token. So there's a smart token, they call it what do they call it? Just read the damn script. Oh, an MST, as well as a non-fungible token, because the Metaverse identifiable token, which it represents something, and it's like baseball cards. It's like artwork. I mean, you can name a couple different things, and it's like music. Even when creating or transferring these digital assets, you're gonna need to have your own avatar, which is it's basically a digital identity. So on the metaverse, everything that I've seen in the metaverse, it can be created with the platforms, the native tokens, entropy. It's a ETP, and non-coding is required. The underlying framework, it's developed using Substrate, and to ensure the security of all the transactions that they do on this decentralized ledger metaverse, introduces one of the first PAL plus post hybrid consensus algorithm proof of work to dictate the block authority and grandpa finality to provide deterministic finality. Yep. New words I just think of, like deterministic. Yeah. Thus the system will not only be able to create your own world and whatever you want to see in that world. It would mitigate the 51 attack. It will also provide a uniform distribution of mining reward of the stakeholders and investors. The metaverse is also another big word, interoperable, right? Platform allowing anyone to build smart contracts and to deploy them on the platform. So, using Metaverse as a virtual machine, you take the tools like MetaMask. Anybody heard of MetaMask Remix and the Truffle? Yep, because with much lower transaction fees, Metaverse becomes the perfect place to easily build and seamlessly integrate adapts onto the platform. Whatever you're waiting for, you know, what are you waiting for, actually? What are you waiting for to enter into the metaverse and join the new reality that you want to be tested and tempted? Oh, I'm sure there's the same as it was with the internet. It's just more of a like, I guess you would feel more secluded because you're completely immersed into this world. And just like the internet, you have a computer screen in front of you, and your world is, this world is about 3 feet in front of me. My world over there. So to put that world in here, and then you create your own world, just like as you search the internet and you find whatever you're looking for, obviously one of the main reasons why the internet was created was to, well, number one, control your mind control. And with the mind control comes the ability to instill fear into your heart, and then also porn, because that draws you in. In the metaverse, you would have to deal with that as well. So if you can't control it here on this like computer screen, then I'm willing to say that you will damn sure won't be able to control it inside of that world. Now, all I'm doing is imagining, because I put that pair of glasses on one time a couple weeks ago when my son bought it in the lion's den, and then another game of like the zombies coming after you, and you kill the zombies. So you're killing a zombie. It's like, am I sitting? This doesn't feel right. Come here. I'm supposed to kill you. Die. And then they won't die, and it's like, all right, get here. So if you can't control what you watch on the internet right now, there's no way you're going to be able to control it in that world, because I can only imagine. I can only imagine hanging out with a few people that are, like, you don't even have to hang out through YouTube. You can do it through Metaverse. And you're hanging out with your buddies, finally, like that. But I wouldn't know. These look expensive and I can't afford them. And Christmas is coming up, and I just didn't seem to be that interested in it. But I did want to do a little special on Metaverse as to what I think about it, because I couldn't speak when Derek asked me what I thought, and by the time I spoke, I was hearing other words, and it just was, it was the most uncomfortable thing you can go through. So from this point on, whatever, it's just, how can it be any more less uncomfortable if that ever happens again? Because I don't expect anything. I know why I'm there, but to think about it, I'll just do some research on what this is inside of my imagination, because that's basically where I'm getting all my information from, besides the script that I just read at the beginning about it. It was like a 2-minute script. And then can they see what you're doing in there? I mean, after all, it's just your eyes. Like, just your eyes are in there. Yeah, obviously, because everything is set up that way. Because I didn't get a chance to speak on it, I think of what are the downfalls? What are the positives? And what are the downfalls? And are you afraid to go into that world because you're easily tempted and you fall fast? What would you want to do in that world, and how does it benefit you? Can you get sucked into it? Well, yeah, I think so, because I think what it is there's a bunch of places set up, and people have that, and they're submerged in it more than the time that they're awake. So the more and more you can stay in it, that's why there's options. That what Derek was saying was you can do upgrades, like how to go to the bathroom, and if you want to get fed, but then they'll put a tube down you, and it basically is I'm assuming they can just submerge you into some kind of fluid and put this over your head, and you just live in there, but you're in there, and you don't have to go anywhere because you get fed, you go poop and pee, and then so no matter what you do while you're in there being submerged, I don't have any evidence, but I think what happens is the more people stay in there, they're actually food for another race. The more they stay in that, in a porn world, and strip bars, and the areas that you can basically go to. See, you can do the same thing on the internet now. You can go through any porn site and you can go and do whatever it is that you do, thinking that nobody's watching, but that's what gets you to kind of stop. It's, out of respect. So, and then when you're in there, the internet, opposed to being in here, I guess it's not as intimate. But when you're submerged in this 24/7, and I'm sure that there's people that have already done that, but you basically got to be sealed up in order for that to take place. You're also, you produce food for another race, and I think that might be Satan's goal. Because what is Satan's goal? Why would Satan want to give people this world? It sounds like if you're offered the whole world, but you lose your soul. But you get, hey, look, you got the whole world in your right there, and you can run it and you can own it because it was given to Satan to give to you. That's funny. So because that world that takes place inside of that, your own little setup, you can stay in one place. So the benefits of that would be, well, you're able to just relax and stay where you're at, almost as if you're in heaven, retired. Because you know how you fall asleep and you dream, and yeah, sometimes they feel real. It's like, man, but then it's not. Same thing, right? Feels like a dream, looks like a dream. You know it's fake, but from what I've heard, upgrades of sensations, feelings, and whatever you're seeing and creating, you'll feel. And even getting beat up, I think that's the thing in this world, is getting beat up, a virtual beatdown. Because there's a way of a virtual beatdown, virtually a beatdown because of fire from heaven. But then there's a virtual beatdown from professionals that have been in it. So if you go into this world, I can only imagine if I went into this world. Well, let me think about what would happen in that world. Before YouTube existed, in my mind, I was watching sports. 2014 August, I started my channel. My son he created the channel. He might have been 7, 8, I don't know. He's been into this stuff here, so he would know. And I would probably even meet him in there somewhere under a different avatar. Like, son, Christian, is that you? That sure seems like you. So before YouTube, I was making hoods, and I called them Robin Hoods. This hood here is called a jet fighter. I bought a regular hood that had this part here, the high part, and then back, and that was it. What I did was I angled it more, cut in the middle, raised it up, bent it up to rise up like that. Same thing with this. And then I have vents in the inside so it can breathe. It took a long time to make this hood, this one hood for my truck. But I used this as an example. And I made that hood. What I did was I painted my truck. I completely made the hood beautiful piece of machinery, and then I painted it because I was learning how to make hoods on YouTube back in August 2014. That's the whole reason why I got onto YouTube. The Metaverse is a different avenue, but this internet, well, the goal that God needed me to do is in the working. I want to get back into what I was doing before Obama interrupted me in all my sports games that I was watching, because I was a sports fan up until the day I created my YouTube channel on April 2nd, 2017. From that point on, I stopped sanding my hood because I made a mold of that one right there, and then I ruined the paint job because of it, because I didn't know what I was doing. I should have made a mold first and then painted the truck, painted the hood, and left it like that. I wouldn't have ruined it. But I learned how to make the fiberglass. I learned how to get the mixture. I learned everything from YouTube. The skill of how to mix the right combination and lay the fiberglass, you can learn on YouTube. So that's what I did. I learned. I made 2 of them. I sold one to somebody in Texas. It was like a 97 Dodge Ram. I opened up an eBay store, and it was called Robin Hoods Design, DZYN.com. And I listed it for $1,250 because it took a good solid week of 8 hours to make it and then sand it. And I would send it sanded as perfect as I can, but it just took too long, and I didn't have anybody to help me with the machinery to produce them, to make them quicker. And my one boss from before, he was talking about it. He had a farm, and things sounded real promising, and then never happened. Then I sold the other one to somebody in Canada, and he said that once he got it sent, like bubbles were in it. But I thought maybe he was trying to get it for free. But the weird thing is, he sent the $1,250 for me first to build him the hood over in Canada. And then when I finished it, I sent it to him. And I thought I did the best job that I could. He didn't really prove that it had the problems on it, because I couldn't see if that was my fault or damage. But regardless, it was a sell. I sold to two people who were interested. He did put it on his truck because he had a white Dodge Ram like this year, a 2010, and it looked good, looked great. It was a smaller one with no back, and so he was pimping it over in Canada, and somebody in Texas, if I can remember his name, Todd. Yeah, Todd over in Texas. He has my hood. It's a 97 black Dodge Ram. And they both paid $1,250 for it. And then Barack Obama interrupted my sports. All the football games, all the basketball games. And it was irritating. Because I didn't want to hear politics mixed with sports. I wasn't really into the Bible. I read the Bible, the most when I was in jail for a year and a half, but I really didn't understand what I was reading. I would just read Psalms. I would read the little passages that can make you feel good, like if you just, like a good quick saying. I would read that. And then when I got out, I'm the Jesus freak, and I told my brother-in-law he should stop lusting after that girl with his eye, because you're married to my sister, as I'm driving him to work, because he's working for me as I got out of jail, after I robbed my boss, after I called him and told him that I'm sorry and I'll pay for the damages, the one I work for now, and took his appliances because, just me being high on Xanax all the time. That's a whole other story. But being forgiven for that, for my boss now, the history that we have is unique, because he's willing to forgive me for being such a piece of crap, a real piece of crap move. Anyway, going from sanding the hood, because I was working on getting that one back in shape to put it back on my truck, finished, and man, Obama kept getting up. He kept interrupting me. You kept interrupting me, Obama. And then, because politics sickened me, and sports was my thing, then it kind of, politics started getting into my mindset, because I'm hearing things that I'm like, no, wait. No, I'm watching shootings and stuff, and I'm thinking, that's not, no. And then, Obama would get up, and it's like, wow, I can't get away from this. I can't get away from Obama rising up. And so it gave me a desire to get on YouTube and start speaking my mind about whatever it is that I feel like I think. So you fast forward to now. All right, so 4.5 years, I hopped into this Matrix world that I knew nothing of. I'm not submerged in anything, but I'm there in it. I've felt it. I've seen it. You guys have experienced that coming in that direction. I absorbed all of that going here, and just looked at it like, in the end, how can I be mad at anybody? I was deceived too. I was completely deceived with what I thought before I hopped on YouTube. So then the ones that I watch and I learn the most from, I talk about and I call them out by name. And then I'll show you clips of people talking, and they do a better job than I do, at least live, or when they push record and they're speaking, because my skill set is to take other people's information and put it together in a puzzle piece. Because I think a couple different people have different things and they teach different ways, but the result of the knowledge of what they know is the same conclusion, because it's all part of the script. Hopping into this platform, before YouTube began with me, I was making hoods, and I was on MySpace, I think a couple months when it first started, and I got off of that quickly because it's not for me. It just, nope. So thank you, Barack Obama, for interrupting my sports games and speaking about the things that, and getting on the TV when those shootings happened and making speeches, and because I read between the lines. I read this. I'm like, no, wait. He's speaking a different language. What? You're not. No, hold on. You're actually saying this, and I know you are, but I can't prove it because you serpent. That's how you talk. So I pick up on the serpent language. Why do I care? Why do I care? I was making hoods. I was doing that. I was worshiping this beastly image. Because this is what I like to do, and that's what I'll continue to do for the rest of my life, because that's what I like to do. I hop on YouTube, I speak my mind because that's what I wanted to do. I haven't stopped, I don't take breaks because that's what I want to do. But I would love to do it in a way where my life is more secure, and I don't feel like I'm getting ready to get killed by a spirit again, because you hop onto this platform and they murder you immediately. They kill you. They stomp on your face and kick you in the teeth. That's what they do. And I'm sure Metaverse is the same way, but it's only Metaverse. It's not real. But what are you doing on there? It sure feels real, right? I wouldn't know because I haven't been in there. I don't know what that world is. I can only imagine. I am only imagining this, imagining that. What it would be like to have a secure feeling of, oh, wow, this is my life. I finally get to just do what I want. I live in a nice house and I can drive a nice car and I can put my truck back together and just create and form and make stuff that feels good to do because that's what I want to do. If it was against the will of God, well, it was at the time because he needed me to hop into this matrix in order to grab all the information that I can get, absorb as much as possible to get people's attention, to tell them something like, you got to stop doing this. Whatever it is, it just, something has to change because you're interrupting my desire that I had that was way more enjoyable because of the, I wasn't attacked. I wasn't beat up and abused and played and tricked and lied to and stabbed, and none of that stuff happened before I hopped into a platform that I didn't belong in because you guys belong in it. I'm coming into your world, and that's why I got attacked when I took over that one job site, because the guy was working there for 5-10 years or whatever before we hopped onto the scene, because somebody else bought the property, remodeling apartments, and that guy never did. He was just a maintenance manager, and he didn't like that I came in a newbie. This is the first time I ever had that job as a supervisor. I'm like, all right, sure, I'll take on that job. I took it on, and I got attacked, and holes poked in pipes, and he didn't want to do his job, and I did my job, and he tried to make me fail, and I never failed once on the apartments because I wouldn't allow him to defeat me, because he was being ran by Satan. I knew it, but I couldn't prove it at the time. But then I did prove it, because you have my 7, 8, 9 pages that used to be on my email files, given all the evidence that I know that he's doing what it is that I'm saying that he's doing to the vice president of the company as an employee for the first time, doing this job as a supervisor, hiring a bunch of people, making it work for a good year and a half, but being attacked all the way through. So I'm used to it. I'm used to that abuse. Hop on YouTube. Get the same type, but just more deceptive, more friendly at first. That's the part that's the dagger. It's the friendly part first, then to find out, no, you're not. You hate my guts. Oh, no, friendly. No, you can't stand me. No, friendly. No. You hate me. You want to kill me. So after 4.5 years of that abuse, well, I wouldn't say 4.5 years of that abuse, because I took the abuse at mainly the first, after 9 months when I started. I think around after 9 months when I started YouTube, sometime in December, January, I really got, it just started out of nowhere almost. Like people just wrote, like scorpions rose up from the pit and just was, Robin, hey buddy, hey, what are you doing? I thought what are you doing? It's your fault. To me, you liar, lying Robin's Hood, false prophet, robotoid, robot. So I made fun of the people that told me that I was a robot. It hasn't stopped. Some people still think I'm a robot, and I think that's hilarious. So, everybody's going to think what they want, because that's what they do. This is what the deception is. You're going to see it live. It happens live. Day in and day out. Just watch watch your television set. You'll see. It happens live. It's always right there in front of your face, day after day. And you can't get away from it. But I'd like to get back into what I enjoy doing and not be attacked anymore from my own brain. Because people transfer their demons over to you by attacking you. The things that they say resonate and stick. People can say negative things. People can push fear. And I've learned to absorb it and feel it. And then I've learned to say, no, it's not going to bother me anymore. I'm not allowing that, because I'm my own worst enemy. If I allow myself to do that to myself. Getting away from my passion of my life, well, eventually there's a time that I have faith that'll happen, which is God will open up a door that only He can open up. And then that door's going to shut, and only He can shut it. I just have to discern the right door, because I'm not opening up door 237. I gotta open up the right door, and it has to be the right time. Because if you can find that door of opportunity as soon as it opens, then that's going to be the door that God opens up. And the ones that open up that door, God opened up. And once you know and they know that it's the same door that God opened up, you walk straight through it. That door that's going to get opened up is kind of like a new heaven. It's like the earth is going to be new because the way that things are on the earth. Because what is an earth? The earth is where everybody's at. This is the same old earth. It's the same old system. It's getting worse. It's sickening. But a new earth is a new system. A new heaven is like, oh, wow, I'm free. What do I want to do today? I think I'm going to just hop in my brand new Corvette, LZ1, and just drive wherever I want to go, and just get some coffee or head down the shore, and I don't have to be back. I don't have to do anything because I choose to do what I want to do, and it's what helps anyway, and it's also what God wants me to do because of a reward for what I've done and the things that I've put up with and the things that I've shown. And apparently I'm not just talking into the wind. My mind isn't understandable to, for the most part, my family gets who I am. Like I'm that like weird, awkward guy that talks about those things. But I'm dependable, reliable, and I'll tell you the truth. So I could be weird all I want, or all I allow myself to be. But there are people that actually understand my brain waves. Maybe they studied them. Maybe there's something connected to my brain. I don't know it, like wave beams, lasers, looking through your eyes too, and just seeing what you do day in and day out. Like, hey, you want to hop in Robin's eyes today? Yeah, sure. Let's go see what Robin's up to. All right, and then boom, and then it's like boom, they're there. Whoever's there is watching what I'm doing, like an avatar. Because at birth, they either plucked an eye out and put a robotic one in that you can see and they can see too, or the technology is just that you're able to just see because of computer screens and bone radiation waves or something. Billy. See that? It's a black and white Phillies tag. P for Philly. These are 22-inch SRT wheels. I love these wheels. And the sidebars. And the hood was like icing on top. It's like the cherry on top of the car. It's a covering. It covers the engine and all the components that run underneath it, because the hood protects all the components that actually run the entire engine. Like the whole world. Put a hood over it and cover it. And top it off with a cherry on top. Like icing on cake. And then just enjoy your life. So that's what I want to do. I want to enjoy my life more freely. And I know I will. And what a honor it is to be attacked by the serpent race and the Adamic race. Both races. Thank you. Because it's not something I wanted to go through. And there may be things coming up that I don't want to go through. But I didn't want to feel uncomfortable on Derek's show either. I didn't want to have a delay. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to not answer a question. I didn't want to not know what to say. I didn't get a chance to really say it because the delay is... My son told me that I shouldn't have any any windows open if I'm live streaming. So I'm gonna test beforehand. But in the meantime, the Metaverse world. I came, I saw, and I'm waiting for the conquering to take place. But it may be different than what anybody thought. It just may be different. Because in this world, the YouTube world, the internet world, in the YouTube platform,
but
this is the YouTube platform. Yeah, what an honor it is to be on Derek Rose's show. Same goes for everybody that's on there. You guys look comfortable. You look like you know what you're gonna say, and you guys do a good job with being on his show and having it the flow of the show. I was the one interrupting the show, so I didn't feel too bad because I'm hanging out. I'm hanging out with Derek Rose on his show because I thought that maybe one day back in March 15th, 2021, I said I think I'm going to be on his show one day. He may be on mine. And so December 5th, 2021. So let's see how many days did it take for me going from I don't know anybody. I'm sanding my hood. I'm making hoods for my eBay shop, and starting this day, 2017. To today, the 8th. The 5th, when it happened. So it took 1,708 days. I had to go through 244 weeks and 40,992 hours. It took 4 years, 8 months, 3 days, 56 months and 3 days for me to say
the presence of the Holy Spirit just around everywhere.
We have Robin's Hood showed up. Robin, you're you got headset. Great, because I heard some echo before. Good to see Robin.
I'll mute myself.
All righty, Robin, what are your thoughts?
Can't hear.
Can you?
Because this is huge. This is huge.
He's definitely impregnating a girl, and then let's take a look at the kid, because this is us. This is you. This is me. This is what Lady Gaga was talking about. This is exactly what Lady Gaga was talking about. Don't forget, they always do this, like Robert De Niro.
This is what they're going to be able to do in, the craziest of ways. In the craziest of ways, they're going to be able to do this.
it has to have test subjects,
Hold on, let me put on, oh, there we go. I put on echo cancellation for Robin's Hood, so he can, so he's not echoing us anymore. That Soulside Jules just put the email address in chat. Thank you so much. So let's, Robin, let's try to get to you again. Robin's Hood, can you hear me? Robin's Hood?
I'm just really having a hard time finding a signal, so I'm going to make room for somebody
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Robin, so what do you think of all this? Robin's a great guy. He's got a wonderful channel called Robin's Hood. I've met him. We've spoken a couple times. We haven't always agreed, but that's perfectly fine, and that's I'm happy to have Robin on. How are you, Robin? Can you hear me? I think he's got a bit of a delay.
1,708 days just to say
The entire group, because I want to go to Robin. Robin, can you hear us now? Head nod. Robin, can you hear us? Robin's Hood, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
So I'll leave that open.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, if you want to talk, but I want to ask people that, just what you just said earlier.
I waited 244 weeks just to say.
Not any different than a CPU. So, Robin, where do you think this goes? Robin's Hood? Can't hear me? How about Theophilus? Where does this go, Theophilus?
I don't know if I'm coming through. Can you hear me?
You're breaking up pretty bad, but I want to. So let me get to Kimberly. Hold on, real.
40,992 hours just to say.
Jules just put the email address in chat. Thank you so much. So let's, Robin, let's try to get to you again. Robin's Hood, can you hear me? Robin's Hood?
I'm just really having a hard time finding a signal. Make room for
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm better at using other people's words than my own. Can you
think,
hear me?
Yeah. Robin, so what do you think of all this? Robin's a great guy. He's got a wonderful channel called Robin's Hood. I've met him. We've spoken a couple times. We haven't always agreed, but that's perfectly fine. And that's, I'm happy to have Robin on. How are you, Robin? Can you hear me? I think he's got a bit of a delay.
Good.
So I know Robin is on major delays, and Robin, next time, please, if you get a headset, I would love to hear from you because I know you have lots to say. Robin has some great videos, and I've really enjoyed having every one of you guys on.
Really
And
good being here.
I'm thankful for
I'll
you
try to work it out.
for starting 4 years ago.
It's hard to have a conversation with a 7-second delay.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's so. Whatever it is,
Bye,
I'll try to start the show earlier so we can do a later time. It's very good to see you, Robin, Sarah C, Blossom Swan, Initiated, Gemma, Scripture, Tyler, and Initiated. So Initiated, I didn't know your real name. I just saw that
Thanks
you
for having me on, Derek.
screen handle.
Love you.
So 147,571,200 571,200 seconds. But the real message was after 4 years, 8 months, and 3 days, with these lions getting ready to attack me. So I told him that it's getting me prepared to be attacked by the lions.
Mm-hmm.
2 1-year concurrent sentences. And I was led right out of court right there. Lou Elitera, who I had married, was pregnant with Trinity. The first time I saw my son was through the glass. And she snuck him inside her, and showed him to me through the glass. The first time I saw my son. So I've been through
That's like
a lot of people whine, this has happened. Guys, if I read you the laundry list of all this shit I've been through, y'all will be, you'd need some foreplay. You'd be over there just crying. So anyway, but
tell me about.
now I'm going to get to the point I told you that story for. So when I was locked up, I was showing people in jail. I had Lou send me some of my papers, and you can get paper, and I would get images of the Virgin and draw them in. You could go to this arts thing and, where they give you crayons, very dangerous crayons. Anyway, and I would draw stuff in, and I would show it to people in jail, and I was being threatened by gangs, like you better.
Well, yeah, I was doing I had those brownie, the toppings with the different colors in jail to use with ear, earwax picks, whatever you want to call them, and water, and you would dip it in. When I was at the second jail after 10 months, I got transferred from one jail to the other because two different concurrent, sentences in that jail, and I got out of my element because I was working at the kitchen and I was settled in the first jail, and then I got taken out, put in another one, and then this time with bars. Like, great, now I can't even sleep. I was in the kitchen. It was the quietest block. I bought a pair of shoes finally with the quarter an hour I was making in prison. It took me a couple months, but I made it. Because my kid's mom never brought me up shoes. I had to wear them damn Skippies. No offense, Skip. That's just what they called them in prison. And so the second jail, I started to draw on envelopes and do some artwork. And within the first month, I was selling them for oodles and noodles, packages of oodles and noodles. It was my hustle before I got a job in commissary. Because I had all these open cases, and you're not allowed to have a job if you have open cases. And for some reason, these open cases disappeared on the computer so I can work. I was like, man, I'm grateful. And then they sent me to that jail. So I was doing that until I got work at commissary, artwork. But then before I got the commissary, they cut that off. They literally made it illegal to draw on envelopes and sell them anymore. I was only in there for a month. I started to do that, and then all of a sudden they stopped it. Like, wow, gang stalked from even in there. But then taken care of as well. So take the good with the bad in prison. But here, I've had gangs threaten me also with killing me, the one guy said, I'm going to drag you out my AK-57 and shoot you. And he even had a channel, and I took it to the cop. Like, he's like, well, but did you ever think of? He's like, well, how often do you do YouTube videos? I said every day. He's like, well, did you ever think of like just not doing them anymore? Like, nah. All right, thanks, officer. I just wanted to see what they were gonna do. Obviously, nothing. So you just deal with it. It's all mental. It's all it is mental. You think it's physical? It's mental. Metaverse? It's in there too. I'm sure there's lions waiting in the metaverse. But it's just a metaverse. It's not actually a real thing, right? It's just computer. It's just a game. So that didn't stop me from having a desire to keep talking, and my channel didn't get shut down. So it's like after 4 years and 6 months, if you wanted me dead, then you would have just killed me already and kicked me off of YouTube a long time ago. But no, I'm still on here, and it took me 1,708 days. I told him that it's getting me prepared to be attacked by the lions.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I've already been attacked by the lioness of the spirit, but yet I still feel like I'm going to be attacked by lions. It's just, I don't know what it is.
If you show that stuff anymore, we're coming for you, man. And so this is where the Lord God put me to the test, because when you're locked up in a prison and you got gangbangers and you're on your own, just you. I wasn't there with any other. It was just Johnny, and I was in my pod. And so this one guy in particular,
This looks like a pod, like being in prison. Just saying.
He said, he was Hispanic. You better not show anybody that shit, or I'm coming for you. And I said, bring it whenever you're ready. I even said, I bet you hit like a little girl. So whenever you're ready, let me know. And so, but anyway, but here's the point. So God looks on the human heart. He looks on the heart. He looks at your heart, your willingness. Look at David. Look at David. David walked out to fight a freaking giant. Okay, can you imagine being a kid with a slingshot against... Have y'all ever read the account of his armor, Goliath?
Well, David had 5 smooth stones in order to throw at Goliath in his forehead. That way it can seep deep into his pineal gland. The other 5 smooth stones, the wise virgins that he's throwing at him.
That's armor. It was like 300 pounds. Yeah. So anyway, but God looks on your heart, guys.
I'm thankful for
I'll
you
try to work it out.
for starting 4 years ago.
It's hard to have a conversation with a 7-second delay.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's so. Whatever's happening on your end, it's really difficult for us. Paula Amon's hi family. Let's go through some. Rachel, Sarah, good to see everybody here. It's been Hoon Kim Hoon. He's been a fan here for a while.
Dr. Gene.
Well, we've had a really strong show tonight as far as the showing, as far as consistency in the showing. So I really appreciate that.
Hey, Kim. How you doing?
Or when the Lord told me to do the radio, and he said, I want you to do the radio, the very first night, the very first show I did, the very first show, before I started, I sat with Clay, and I just got this download from the Lord, and I was sitting there just like, told me I have to name the program.
Hey,
This is it, Before the Fire.
welcome to Robin's Hood channel. This is it, Before the Fire.
This is it, Before the Fire. People will call in, and they'll give themselves to Christ on call-ins. I'll lay hands on the sick, and they'll recover, and the Lord will bless this ministry. And Clay was sitting there, and he's like, okay. And so the very first show was called This Is It, 4, 3, 2, 1, Before the Fire.
Today's December 8th, 2021.
The very first night of the very first show, when I started, my call doc just went brrr.
Mike call doc went.
Brrr. I had all these numbers, and it was just because I had call-ins. You could call in and talk.
Your thoughts on this thus far?
Oh, I'm just I feel the presence of the Holy Spirit just around everywhere.
Show. And I said, okay, I'm gonna, take some calls. And my call doc just went brrr, it just lit. There were so many calls, it was crazy. Show was like at 8 at night. Do the math. Yeah. And she calls in and she confesses Christ, and she was crying. It was legit.
I feel like man right now is trying to become godlike, and like in church today we were talked about the Tower of Babel and how they were trying to build it to be like God, and the Azarats, or however you say it, and
You read it. You read it
other
correctly.
structures and stuff. I think AI is gonna be the downfall.
Yeah, you robot. You're finished.
I think.
Elon's not built, and that's why I'm saying when they show you a robot today, I was watching this scientific magazine showing these robots, and they have incredibly perfect faces, but with no eyeball, really no expression yet. And then all of their extremities and all of that are covered. I was like, they're trying to make these things look like robots because they don't want you to really think that there are really robots out there already. I mean, I believe we could probably have some of them running and maybe even serving in high office right now.
Yep.
Seriously, not very good ones, that lock up and stand there and constantly sniff children. I don't know. That might be one of them.
Isn't that a scary thought?
Terrifying.
I think that there are patterns of behavior that human beings tend to fall into that resemble that more of robots than they do of human beings.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I will say this, only if he was actually a real robot. Let's go, Brandon. That's if he's a real robot. Then I would say that. Because I wouldn't. I have a problem really hating somebody, but I could definitely despise a robot programmed to the enemy. I have no problem doing that.
Yeah.
So we've got. Let me bring. I've got. Oh, now
I froze up.
Yeah, I've been warning people about this clown being a robotoid for quite some time now. Back on May 21st, 2018. Only 13 months after I started.
I'm exposed this satanic creature right here. Goes by Robin Hood, DCPSHN by DZYN. All right.
That would be deception by design, man. You can't understand that.
You can clearly see has a synthetic looking skin, clone eyes. Satanic creature right here. Gold Hood, DCPSHN by DZYN. Right. This motherfucker right here is a robotoid. You can clearly see
Blossom
has
so
a synthetic looking skin.
Terrifying.
I think that there are patterns of behavior that
Are really robots out there already. I mean,
Look at it.
I believe we could probably have some of them running
Completely
and maybe
unnatural.
even serving in
You'll
high
never see a
office
real
right now.
person
Yep.
with this type of head movements.
Seriously, not very
Look at
good
it
ones,
locking
you
up.
know, that
See how it
lock
moves
up
the
and
hands
stand there
left
and
to right,
constantly
right,
sniff
left.
children. I don't know. That
Check it
might
out.
be one of them.
See?
Isn't that a scary thought?
The robotoid is
Terrifying.
locking
I
up.
think that there are patterns
Why
of
would you do
behavior that human beings tend to fall into that resemble that more of robots
Go
than
watch
they
the
do of human
Yahweh
beings.
Rules video.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
I think that there are patterns of behavior that human beings tend to fall into that resemble that more of robots than they do of human beings.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I will say this, only if he was actually a real robot. Let's go, Brandon. That's if he's a real robot. Then I would say that.
Okay. You can't think this stuff up, guys. Look. You can't even think it up.
So I mean, apparently I made it into the scene a year into it of Robotoid. As I couldn't even understand why that was even being said at one point. So I wanted to have some fun with it, and that's what I did. When I got attacked by somebody, I mocked them. It was a way of saying, all right, well, all right, it's all good, but I'm not going to stop. And then it's a way to flush out the system too, because even though some of the things I've done are probably going to, people would really just, and that would be the mindset. But remember, I'm only 4.5 years old, so however old you are, however long you've been in YouTube, if you've been there from the start, or if you've been there from 2011, you're like my older brother or sister. You're 10, 11 years old. I'm still a little shithead trying to figure things out. Here, I was still shitting my pants because I was only 13 months old. I was still in diapers.
Look at just look at this creature, man. This motherfucker's supposed to be 41 years old, all right, as he claims. But yeah, look at
Now I'm 45.
Like, look at his skin. It looks too smooth to be a fucking 40-year-old.
Like, what a compliment. I don't even
Right?
understand
Look at the eyes, yo.
how he's trying to bust on me.
See the way he moves the eyes? Look at it. Synthetic, all right? Stay the fuck away from this channel, man. Because he's nothing but a demon. Okay, animating a robot. And and he's got nothing good to say, man. All he talks about is fucking nothing but bullshit and FEMA cams and Donald Trump. You know, like don't even waste your time watching this garbage, man. Cause all he's gonna do is just gonna deceive you.
Most derailing things. If the elect could be deceived, if the very elect could be, this is what this is. On a Sunday, I would like to do a show where we bring people on a Sunday, but this is going to be the most important subject, I believe, for those that are standing in Christ or those that are starting on a journey, because this will be one of the most derailing things. If the elect could be deceived, if the very elect could be, this is what this is.
So yeah, see how I just snapped out of it right now? That was like a...
He's one hell of a good actor, eh?
Second delay.
Congratulations, Derek.
Back up. Thanks, brother. He said once you cross 80.
7-second delay.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up getting a clone. See how I do the 666? He's always throwing the 666 too. That's another thing. And yeah, man, he's just trying to get you to lose your fucking soul. All right, just like him, because this motherfucker knows that he's the demon inside knows that his time is short, and he's trying to get as many souls as possible to go to the lake of fire with him. So yeah. Oh yeah, and see, look at the timestamp, 33. All his videos are 33 minutes long. So there you go. It's a robotoid and a training. All right.
Wow. Wow. I forgot all about this. It was only a year in. I listened to this video a lot, or almost fell off the ladder laughing so hard. Asked Derek to say woof, not woof. But he already does. Meaning Derek from the Gloppa Truth. This whole video had me dying, but he said accepting the shekel, the silver, was classic. I don't know what or who or whatever, but you were funny, man. Thanks for the humor. I needed it. You're welcome, Johnny. You're welcome, Johnny. Costumes are great. If you would like not to get saved, that is the saddest part. God bless you. Stacy. There's a lot of names that have been around for quite some time. God is cracking up watching this.
I would love to hear from you because I know you have lots to say. Robin has some great videos.
Using the gifts your maker gave you, made in his image. Made in his image. So he has to have a sense of humor. Robin, great video and funny. Why did he have to drag us in this? What's this guy's channel? Be nice to pay him a visit. I don't even know. Look at that. What a foolish person. Very funny, Robin. Shalom. From End Times Watchman, Matty Yahoo.
By the way, you need to get what Gematria is all about. He's not going to kill you. No, anyways. SJD, the stone rejected. You guys got to watch out for him. He's a psychopath. Google. You need, Robin. Anybody, you need to Google Gematria, Kabbalah, whatever. You need, I don't care about your excessive posting. Post all you want. This is the last bit I'm making. Michael Jeshram. Why are you trying to find out the future by consulting witches and mediums? Don't listen to their whisperings and mutterings. Can the living find out the future from the dead?
Why, yes.
Why not ask your God?
Ooh.
Check these witches' words against the word of God. It's Gematria that he's talking about. If their messages are different than mine, it is because I have not sent them. That's why you're getting so much. For they have no light or truth in them. No truth. I have truth.
Oh, okay. March 4th, 2018. 11 months into YouTube.
Going to fucking hell? Hell, we're all fucking going. We are going to fucking hell. Hell, we're all fucking going. Let's get down to brass tacks. My name is Matthew Daly. I'm going to make another video a little bit later showing my mother because this is getting ridiculous. This is going to stop. This is over with. Please, my subs, will you stop sending me videos of Robin? Please stop. I told you guys I'm done with this. So here you go, Robin, because it's getting past the point of ridiculous.
I know you got me. How you cracked your phone? Well, from Iowa. Who is this guy? LOL. When the morning stars, I thought I had that recorded. What a look. See you, or when blessed things happen. I did see it. Wait a second. Who was talking? I'm dude's voice with Robin's face. Funny. Star Wars. This is the hood prophet. Are you a robot or a demon? So there you go. A bunch of people enjoyed that video.
This satanic creature right here goes by Robin Hood, DCPSHN by DZYN. Alright? This motherfucker right here is a robotoid. As you can clearly see, has a synthetic looking skin.
And I still own it, and the entire ministry gets fulfilled, and yours does too. So you'll be able to see the evidence of the NFT's value. You still own the one that you have, and I still own it, and the entire ministry gets fulfilled, and yours does too. So ways initially, but this is a short period of time, because at some point in time, we won't exist in it anymore, only the message. They might have a virtual version of us, and that's okay, but at some point in time, we won't be able to be there anymore, but at least it exists, and that's Christ. To me, that's Christ saying, hey, heaven and earth will pass away, but my word won't. It'll be in the new earth and the new heaven. So these words won't. We're going to make sure that these are in there. So the war is just beginning, really. The new one.
End of story, not arguable. We've been through the scriptures. I've shown you he owns both sides. Turn or turn over. By implication, to change, overturn. Be converted. Shut up. I never saw that. Talk about a nugget of gold. What? Overturn. What?
So what do you think of all this? Robin's a great guy. He's got a wonderful channel called Robin's Hood. I've met him. We've spoken a couple times. We haven't always agreed, but that's perfectly fine. And that's I'm happy to have Robin on. How are you?
December 8th, 2021. Mike will tell you.
To be converted in the Old Testament. Do y'all know what you're looking at? You're looking at the Lord just handing Johnny a big chunk of gold. That's gold. Gold. The Lord just handing Johnny a big chunk of gold. You're turning the things upside down. Be converted. Wow. This image right here, sometimes when I draw it in just for my own brain, I'll add some dark just for my brain, but this is it right here. See it? There's the eye of the reptile. There's the nose of the reptile. And then look at this. That's the tail of the reptile inside of an egg. And then look at the kid's eye. Oh my God, it's the all-seeing eye. That's the all-seeing eye. And look at the kid's eye. Oh my God, it's the all-seeing eye.
Yep.
The all-seeing eye. Oh, I get it. It's in everyone. So
that's like you can say, oh, so you're seeing things how I'm seeing them now, then, right? Like you agree with what I'm saying, so you see it how I see it.
Lord told me to do the radio, and he said, I want you to do the radio. The very first night, the very first show I did.
He's against turning people into butterflies. He just wants to do
Right.
it safer. In order to do that, I mean, a wizard has to have test subjects, you know.
Hold on, let me put on. Oh, there we go. I put on echo cancellation for Robin's hood, so he can, so he's not echoing us anymore. Yes,
That if
but
you can go in if you're somehow you have a certain mindset, you could go in but not be affected by.
Yes, to a degree, it's the same thing because
we did that specifically to eliminate competition. And I went, oh, well, let me ask you a question. Does that one down there have like a sign in the window that says open? And she goes, yeah. And I go, does it say on air? And she said, oh, no, it just says open. Go to this Amy's Ice Cream. I have a message for you. He was letting me know to pass up the job, go on the radio, do what he said, trust him. And I did. Letting me know to pass up the job, go on the radio, do what he said, trust him. And I did.
Cow tipping it. Looking. There's like a guy standing there with his head looking over and the hair leaning on something. But what is this? Is that a horse or a cow? It has a stomach, has a belly. If anything. The belly. The belly of the beast. Is that what it means in that movie when it says touching tips? Let me get rid of the labels. See a mouth right here, an eyeball here with a unusual head. Whether the ear, is that like a metaverse thing on his head? The glasses? Because this could pass for an ear, the mouth, the nose, and the eye. But this also has like a robotic type of a AI on the top of it. It has the body of an animal. Most likely a cow because it's like a belly. In the beast.
Get someone drunk to run and try and push over
Does that say
a cow that's standing up.
555?
Well, that
555. Penn Center Building 8. 17th and JFK. Christmas morning, 2021. Christmas morning, December 25th, right? 2021. On Saturday, a Sabbath. Saturday, 5:55 a.m. Penn Center Building 8, which is 17th JFK. That's that $50 bill that looks like that it would be like a bombing on the third floor, or some kind of smoke, like something hit it on Christmas in order to continue on with the Twin Towers 1 and 2. But I'm not at liberty to tell you what buildings.
Well, anyway, isn't that fascinating? I mean, just so the Lord's been communicating with me for a long time, and He's my function and what my goal is tonight because I prayed before I came out here, and I talked to the Lord, just like I'm talking to my best friend. And what's the goal? And in my spirit, I hear, well, Jonathan, what is it that you want to do? What do you want for everybody? And you know what I want for everybody? What I want y'all to all know, not think. I want you to know for sure that the Lord God, there is a Lord God that's above all things. The Lord your God is one. And that the system that you're in has been divided, is two. But you can return, you can go back by knowing the truth. And it's literally this simple. I want you to know in your heart where you don't, I don't want you to have any fear. I want you to be like me, to where you're so comfortable with just like, yeah, whatever, dying, who cares? I mean, the Lord sent me on some trips that look like absolutely you're not coming back. But I was content with it. I was like, okay, let's go do it. So I was willing to open that door as well. And that's why he has me doing what I do. Um, another note like that, no, like that, and learn to trust that voice you're hearing. That's God speaking to you now. The night I got saved, Michael told me that. I'm looking you right in the eye. Michael told me that. I want to give you guys a little more of my perspective. So when I was called to service, the night I got saved, Michael tells me, Jonathan, that little voice you hear, that's God speaking to you. Learn to trust his voice. So when I hear, hey, go to this Amy's Ice Cream, I go to this Amy's Ice Cream. I have a message for you. What's the message? I want you on the radio.
Try to work it out
For
next
starting
time.
4 years